established in a society. I hope and expect that the British nation will continue to hold on to this precious trait, and even in the current world situation, they play their role in the same manner. I have just mentioned that this gathering is a meeting of different nations, and its purpose is to try and strive for peace and to foster love and brotherhood. But we can only strive in our own societies and environments. Tonight, the guests here have come from many different segments of society. For instance, some are linked to politics, some with the government, and some have come from diplomatic circles. Other hails from organizations and groups that are trying to achieve world peace, such as our esteemed friend Lord Eric Avebury, who is always at the forefront of promoting human rights. Similarly, we have with us our local MP, Siobhan McDonough, who is fulfilling the rights of both friendship and justice. And I should also mention our MPs and the Right Honourable Dominic Grieve and Ed Devi, MP, yeah, right? So they are all helping us in promoting peace as much as we can. So sometimes it becomes very difficult to discharge the rights of friendship and at the same time do justice with justice. But I appreciate all these people, friends, all these political leaders are discharging both of these duties. I truly believe that if all our distinguished guests strive for this common objective of peace in their respective circles, then with the passage of time, they can expand and indeed go further and play a role in establishing peace in the entire world. In terms of the role of our community, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, we hold a passionate desire to establish peace and to end cruelty in light of the true Islamic teachings. However, unfortunately, in practical terms, we cannot achieve this because we do not have any power in worldly terms. We are a relatively small religious community who, for the time being, is not considered significant by the world. Nevertheless, our elevated goals will ultimately lead us to playing a true role for peace, whose foundation is based upon the real teachings of Islam. The world will come to recognize the name of Islam itself as a beacon of peace and security. Islamic teachings instruct us to help both the oppressor and the oppressed. When the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad were taught this, they asked him that how could a cruel oppressor be helped? He responded simply by saying that you can help him by stopping his hand, which meant preventing him from wrongdoing. The oppressor thinks that through force he can subjugate his opponent, but those who are religious-minded believe that God Almighty is the possessor of all powers, and that He will surely punish the cruel. Thus, the way to help an oppressor is to stop him from his cruelty, and thus save him from God's wrath. Despite the fact that currently our Jamaat does not have the apparent means to stop the cruel from their cruelty, by virtue of which the rights owed to both the oppressor and oppressed would be discharged. We continue to try and stop all forms of cruelty by guiding others to whatever extent possible, or by drawing the attention of those in power or through our prayers. If governments and organizations in power are indeed international international organizations do not fulfill their roles to establish peace in the world, then despite holding power, such powers are ultimately rendered useless. Now, if we assess and examine the United Nations, then we see that in its history, apart from a few occasions, it has never fulfilled the requirements of justice and therefore has failed to fulfill its role properly. This is because factors such as materialism, the forming of blocs and alliances, vested interests, personal enmity, and grudges have all proved obstacles to acting with due justice. And so the United Nations has not been able to establish peace because it has not displayed true impartiality and fair dealing. As I have said, even majority of us who are seated here today cannot bring peace to the world because we have neither the power nor the resources to do so. Despite this, we are not disheartened by the current state of affairs in the world. At every level, we try our utmost and will always continue to do so. If in small areas we can influence others to desire and work for justice, then we will never miss such an opportunity. That is why we hold this peace symposium each year, and why, in general terms, whenever the opportunity arises, we call for peace in society. Therefore, one day, even people in large areas will come to desire justice, because the basic lesson that the founder of the Ahmadiyya community has given us is that peace cannot be established without justice. And justice cannot be established without forming a relationship with the higher being. A relationship with the creator of this world is a prerequisite for justice. God Almighty has granted us countless blessings of all kinds, and He has taught us that apart from establishing a relationship with Him, the most important duty is to fulfill the rights due to your fellow men and women. Indeed, the founder of the Ahmadiyya community has instructed us that in certain circumstances, the rights owed to mankind are even more important than those owed to God. We find many examples of this in the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, where the rights owed to mankind were fulfilled before the rights owed to God. For example, obligatory prayers, worship were offered at a later time, and the service to humankind was given preference. We Ahmadis believe that in this era, the founder of the Ahmadiyya community, who we believe is the promised Messiah and Mahdi, has been sent by Allah the Almighty to re-establish the true teachings of Islam. He has written in one of his books, "The task for which God has appointed me is that I should remove the malaise that afflicts the relationship between God and his creatures, and restore the relationship of love and sincerity between them. Through the proclamation of truth and putting an end to religious conflicts, I should bring about peace and manifest the divine